Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. How do you feel about your job? Is your job something that you thoroughly enjoy, or is it something that you do to earn a paycheck? At the end of the day, do you feel fulfilled and accomplished, or do you feel totally drained and already find yourself counting down the days till the weekend and it's only Monday? Not enjoying your job is not a new concept. This has been a long-running joke for pretty much ever. But things are changing. No, people don't seem to be any happier with their job. But what's changed is that people seem to be less willing to put up with this unhappiness. People all across America are quitting in record numbers. Since April, 20 million people have voluntarily resigned from their job. And the key word there is voluntarily. They left by their own choice. In August alone, 4.3 million people resigned from their job. That is the highest number on record for any given month in over 20 years. It's worth pointing out that the American workforce has about 157 million people. So these are pretty large turnover numbers. As a matter of fact, thus far in 2021, 1 in 4 workers, or about 25% of the workforce, has quit their job. Keep that in mind. But these stats get worse. According to the survey by Microsoft, 40% of all employees are considering quitting their job in the next 3 to 6 months. So what's driving the big quit? Well, a few things. 1, life has been turned upside down. First, we have to consider over the past 2 years, the vast majority of people's work lives and lives in general have undergone radical changes. When people were sent home to work remotely, this changed the workplace dynamic and how they saw their job. Depending on the field, early on in 2021, up to 70% of sectors had their workers operating in a remote capacity. There's no doubt this is a huge change, and often big changes beget even bigger changes. When workers were sent home, they were also given more time where they took to re-examine their lives and their work and assess whether or not they were truly happy with their positions. For those who found that the happiness and satisfaction scales aren't as high as they would like them to be, they're taking the leap and they're quitting their job in the belief that there is something greater out there. The thing is, right now, we're dealing with a lot of change, and it's easier to make a change when everything around you feels like it's in a state of flux. It's harder to make a change when you're in your comfort zone. When you've been doing the same thing day in and day out for years, it can be hard to leave that comfort zone. But it's safe to say that in the past 2 years, all of our lives have undergone pretty significant changes. And you can be more comfortable dealing with change the more you deal with change. And this can be a really great thing. If you're taking steps to invoke positive change in your life, how can that be wrong? Think of it this way. If you're at the end of your life and you're on your deathbed, no one looks back and wishes that they stayed in a job they dislike for longer. Instead, they reflect on the opportunities missed and the chances they didn't take. So this could be a well-needed shakeup. Workers are demanding better pay. It's a simple fact that wages have been largely stagnant in America for the past several decades. For the vast majority of workers, pay over the past several decades has only seen incremental increases. Being willing to change jobs is actually a great way to get a pay boost. Asking for a raise in your current position versus being willing to change companies is often likely not to lead to as much of an increase. Remember, biases are a real thing. Think about it this way. If you work in a position where you currently make $15 an hour, but your desire is to make $20 an hour, it's highly unlikely that you can walk to your superior and negotiate up a $5 an hour raise. That's a pretty significant jump. And keep in mind that your employer probably sees you as a $15 an hour worker. But if you're willing to look outside your company and you run across a position where it's paying $18 or say $19 an hour, trying to negotiate up to that $20 benchmark that you so desire, you probably are going to have greater success. That's not that significant of a jump. And also, if you are successful and you walk into that company and starting day one as a $20 per hour worker, that employer is going to think of you as a $20 per hour worker. They place a higher value on you. They have a new benchmark and a new bias to which measure you against. It can literally pay to switch jobs. With workers leading the charge with massive resignations, employers around the globe are struggling to hire. So that means the ball is in the employee's court right now. As employers become more desperate for workers, that means that those on the hunt for a new job have a great deal of leverage when it comes to negotiations. 3, workers are demanding better working conditions. The 40-hour work week came along during the Industrial Revolution, and not much has changed since then. This whole 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, and 8 hours for what you will slogan set the precedent for our modern 8-hour workday that came about back in the 1880s. And I don't know about you, but a lot has changed in the world since then. Computers, internet, Zoom, none of these things existed back then. Heck, at the time, the phone was a novel invention, and more than 50% of households didn't even have electricity. So why are we still operating in an antiquated mindset? The event of 2020 allowed workers and employers to see that there are other ways to accomplish their job. Gone are the days of thinking that you actually have to be physically in an office and sitting at a desk in order to be successful at your job. There are many jobs that you can do with just a laptop and a cell phone. After getting a taste of this nimble work style, many employees are hooked. They want to keep working from home and utilizing flexible hours. People are finding that the more control they have over their life and their time, the greater satisfaction they have. And as many employers are trying to force their workers back into the actual office, many are being met with resistance. So if you find yourself in that 40% who are considering resigning from your job in the near future, here's my 2 cents. Don't burn bridges. I know if you are super frustrated with your job, sometimes all you want to do is tell your boss to shove it. Don't do that. I have a handful of staff members that I manage, and my workers know that I truly love them and I care about them. But also what happens with clients and what happens with the bosses is often outside of my control. And about a week ago, I had a girl storm out of the office and call me from her car, and she said, "That's it, I'm done." And I did what I always do. My people know I support them and I have their back 100% because I know what kind of workers they are and I know what kind of people they are. And I told her that I support you and I have your back 100%, but I strongly encourage you to walk back in, finish the day, and give your notice if this is what you want to do. Luckily, she did do just that. Don't leave in an undignified fashion. I feel like storming out, while it's funny on TV, is an undignified way to leave. If you want to leave, leave with grace. Also, if you're thinking of giving your notice or if you've already given your notice, please continue to serve in your current position to the absolute best of your abilities. Your company deserves that and so do you. There is no phoning it in life. Show up every single day and do your best. And also, it's important to keep positive relationships. Keep positive relationships with your coworkers, with your superiors, with your clients. You never know when you might need a reference. And the world's kind of small. We tend to run into these people again. Don't quit first. I am a huge fan of maintaining your current position while you're actively looking for other employment opportunities. And I have 2 reasons for this. 1, I like my security and I don't want to be without a paycheck. And 2, if you're actively employed, that makes you a more desirable candidate. Think about it this way. Would you want to hire someone who's been unemployed for 8 months? Or do you want to hire someone who's still actively working in their position and planning on leaving on their own accord? Sometimes it does boil down to the person who seems to be the more desirable candidate. Don't play it cool. If you're interested in a job, let the interviewer know. Passion is something I look for when I hire people, and I know a lot of people nowadays want to play it cool. They're like, whatevs. Don't be that person. If you're interested in the job, let the interviewer know. Let them know why you think you're a good fit. And even after you do your interview, it's great to send a thank you email or even a follow-up phone call if it's been like a week or so and you haven't heard back. It lets them know that you truly are interested. And I would rather hire someone who's interested in the position rather than somebody who's just like, whatever, it's just another job. Let them know you have options. I also really like the idea of letting employers know that you have options. If you have multiple interviews interviews planned, let them know. If you have multiple job offers on the table, let them know. When I'm hunting for a new job, I tend to cluster all of my interviews in a 1 to 3 day period. And when I do go on these interviews, I let them know that I have interviews with other companies. If they ask who they're with, I absolutely tell them. And then I wait for the offers to come in. Once the offers come in, I do tell them I have other offers and I need to think about them. And it puts me in a better negotiating position. This has served me very well to start in a better position when I do choose a company. And generally there is one company or one position that you want more. Let them know. Let them know why you think you are the absolute best candidate for them and why they are the best fit for you. Let them know that you have other options, but even with all of those other options, you think that their company is still the best fit. Letting them see that you are desired by other companies can be very appealing and can help them lean more towards you as their new hire. Have you recently considered a career change? Let me know in the comments down below. If you are considering a change, are you looking to change fields entirely or are you just looking for a new company? Like I said, let me know and we'll continue the conversation down in the comments. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. Or if you know of anyone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.